What's good with the YouTube? You already know, Big Flacco with the convict's perspective. I'm going to smash, dash, and slide on through that little bit of energy. What's cracking, people? Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff to help support this channel. So today, someone sent me a video, and it was of a former CDCR lieutenant. I think he had about 16 years. I don't know how much. He had a lot of time in the system. Former combat veteran, military, and whatnot. And so, you know, I'm open to always hearing any new channels, any new insights, and seeing where people go. And it's called the Prison Guard. Now, the person who runs this channel, his name is Hector Bravo, and he's actually a best-selling author, believe it or not, as well. He is really direct, very well-spoken, and he keeps it 100. He keeps it real from a correctional officer's perspective. He gives you the different insights as far as, he just did one on the Bulldogs, which was a good video. He even mentioned that there was a recent incident over there in Calipatria where it was 18 on 18. So here you have a former lieutenant. To be a lieutenant, he must have been a very hardworking, you know, correctional officer. Made every effort to do whatever was necessary, you know, in fulfilling his duties. You know, he was military. Military men and women are usually, they're responsible for being in chain of command. They're used to that. They follow procedures, and they're usually by the book. Okay, not many of them are assholes. Some of them could be at times, but usually they may seem like they're just strictly enforcing the rules. And but they're also people as well. And I was watching his episode, man, and he was talking about the Bulldogs, about, you know, they're at war, and that basically was talking about how there's no space, there's no housing. They're just being put in a position to be thrown out there. And that everybody places a lot of blame on from the top to bottom, right? As far as within the chain of command, when a lot of times this has nothing to do with them. This is administration enforcing their rules. Like, this is exactly what I said from the get-go. The Department Operations Manual gives them a procedure of steps of how to go about things. They have to enforce it. A lot of times they know what the consequences are going to be. And he's already stated that there's probably going to be lawsuits based upon what is going to be coming in the future, that people are going to be filing. And he also mentioned about, you know, Donovan State Prison, about how people have lists this long of people who have enemy lists. So right now we're currently experiencing a housing issue. Where can they house these inmates safely? And I don't think that they had a plan for any of this. I like how he's pretty direct, man. You know, I tell anybody right now, I'd like to go ahead and check him out, make your own judgment. I definitely subscribed. I think it's good that we have a correctional officer's perspective of things, because we only have what we experience. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, what's really transpiring there. You know, and I put a comment, and the main thing I stressed to him is, you know, he was real on a lot of angles he took in his video. Keep that same energy, you know what I'm saying? Be transparent. When CDCR has been wrong, call them out on their shit. When they have been right and people have been misled, support them. You know what I mean? Only you know the truth behind a lot of things that you've experienced. And I think it could bring a lot more positivity to maybe this prison genre base, because this is going to give a different angle and perspective of things. And I think a lot of times it may be able to corroborate and confirm a lot of the things that we're doing, you know, or our positions. You're not just going to hear some, you know, someone talking about stuff that's irrelevant and people putting, you know, stamping it as being a corroborated fact. Now we got an officer's perspective that can enlighten us to their view of things, or the way they seen it, or what happened. You know, they have an unlimited amount of resources, of course. You know, I talked to a few ex-correctional officers myself, and they've been very valuable to me as a channel as far as obtaining, you know, different insights and perspectives of what really transpired, you know, from a correctional officer's standpoint. And so I think that his channel, man, is going to be pretty good. I was watching a couple other things. He has a couple other videos that don't just go necessarily into the prison genre, but I like how he approached this recent topic. You know, this is a good one about the Bulldogs. It was a very good video, man. And I'm going to put his link up, man. I sent him an email. I want to touch base with him a little bit more, because I think it's always good to have that different insight from different people, you know, because he has his truth of what he's seen, what he experienced. And on some levels, it's going to be more than us as inmates, or former inmates. Let me rephrase that. And so, yeah, he was right. The first he initially opened up his video on that was that You know, no one on this in this genre has really gave a guard's perspective, and he's a recently retired guard. He can speak on things now, you know, and I think that's going to be good for the prison genre channel. I think it, you know, I think that's going to be help a lot of us assert different positions, maybe give reactions at times, and he's the first one that I know of in the Department of Corrections in California to start a channel. So his name is Hector Bravo. His channel is called The Prison Guard. He also has a few books out, and I look forward to seeing where he leads his channel. I liked his perspective of the Bulldogs. He says that they're at war with everybody right now, and that they're just blacks, whites, Mexicans, every group has it in for the Bulldogs, and that they're in a bad position, but they're still holding their own, is what he said. And, you know, much respects to keep it in 100, because, you know, a lot of people may come on here and they may try to take a favorable stance towards their beliefs. Like me, when I'm on here doing a spill, if one side's wrong or right, I'm going to go with what's the truth or what I perceive. And I appreciate watching this first video. There was a lot of realities to his content. It wasn't sugar-coated. He wasn't siding just with CDCR at all. Where he needed to, he did. And I think he's justified his actions in what he said. Tap into the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But where he said there was wrongs, he acknowledged that as well. And I've said this the whole time, that you can't place blame on every correctional officer for fulfilling the responsibilities of their job. You know, these men aren't there just because they want to. This is their livelihood. It's like when you get up and do your 9 to 5, go to work. You go to work, your job's right there in front of you. You do it. Once you're off, you're a human being. And see, sometimes people forget, because there's been a few correctional officers who have been, you know, abusive, who've been wrong, and there's been that, you know, code of blue or code of green that's transpired, right? And with that comes consequences of people's feelings. You know, I've always said the biggest obstacle that people have as far as in law enforcement and communities' reactions or prisoner reactions is that you have those that when they see abuses within their own rank and file of their particular, you know, group, instead of calling out the wrong abuses, sometimes they will turn a cheek and allow it to happen, even though they're not partaking in it. So I'm interested in seeing more stories about that, man, because sometimes when you're in you see, it puts them in a very uncompromising situation, because they have the ability to maybe affect their job, their union, and be hazed and attacked if they expose something. But at the same time, you have a moral compass as far as doing what's right. And that's why you'll have certain officers that will do certain things when certain officers are on, as opposed to they won't do it when others are on. And so, like I said, tap into this channel. I look forward to seeing where he takes it. This Bulldog video was really good. There was a few of you guys I seen in the comments, and I think that this channel will do pretty good, you know. Like I've always said, I'm not anti-correctional officer, anti-law enforcement, anti-police by any means. I'm anti-abuses. We need rules of conduct in society in order to be safe. Okay, I'm against those that abuse that authority, that abuse that jurisdiction, that, you know, target people and then, you know, create oppressive type situations or abusive type of situations. Those are the things I stand against. But there are officers out there that are doing their 9 to 5, you know, and we have to always respect those that do that, you know. And you can't always categorize. This is the problem with society. Sometimes you have a few bad apples and it categorizes the whole bunch. But in order to get rid of that type of label that some people, I feel, is unfair towards law enforcement at times, you have to sit there and expose those that abuse the jurisdiction that's given to them. Only then will you have communities that will come out and be supportive of their local law enforcement, their local this and that. But until that happens, universally, you're going to still have people who are going to have certain feelings, because there's a lot of people who have done certain things. I've had guns pointed to my head. I've been beat. I've had all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like 15, 16 years old with a fucking cop put a gun in my fucking head. You know, it's officers like that that give a bad name to the overall census, overall population. And that's why, as today, I'm more of a mature adult, that I don't categorize just because of certain people's actions. But I do think that when guards, law enforcement, police see things within their own, you know, comrades, you got to call it out, man. You know what I'm saying? And if they ever make any laws, they have to create a law that will hold people accountable when they see this type of behavior. Because too often what it is I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And therefore it safeguards them. But if you didn't do nothing about it, you're just as guilty. Anyways, good show. The Prison Guard. Tap in, check him out. I look forward to seeing more videos from this individual. I think most of his stint of being a correctional officer was down south, like Calipatria, I think, Donovan, maybe a couple other locations. He rose all the way to the rank of lieutenant. So that means he knows a lot of stuff that was going on. To be a lieutenant is basically a very, you know, you're head of a sergeant, you're head of that, and you report directly to probably that yard's, each yard has a captain. You know what I'm saying? And then it has the lieutenants under that. There's no like variety of captains, I believe. I think each yard has a captain. And so this right here, you know, should be some interesting content coming out, because every yard they're going to be accountable and responsible for. They're going to know what's going on in every building, every type of report that's going on. Even, you know, gang members coming out, those that are confidential informants, those that, you know, all the stuff that we don't have privileged information to, he's probably new at that time on that yard. And so I look forward to seeing what he comes out with. And it was a really, really good video that he did on the Bulldogs, man. Tap in his channel, The Prison Guard. With that said, it's your boy Flacco. I'm gone.